Revoltech, you've got some serious explaining to do. Hey, what's up, y'all? We're back with another action figure review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Revoltech Catwoman. As you saw from the intro, my experience with this figure right off the bat has been less than ideal. I'll put it like that. I'm going to be nice today. The only real reason why I bought this figure is because we don't really have a whole bunch of representation of Catwoman like floating around here, especially with the articulation being as good as Revoltech is known to do. So I said I needed a Catwoman, and Revoltech did a Catwoman. I think it's the goggles, man. That whole look with the helmet, the goggles, it's such a goofy look, but the rest of her design, I love it.
What's better than catnip? $5 million worth of jewels. We're gonna get it nice and easy. Come to mama. No. Damn you.
Or your accessories. So Catwoman here comes with a decent spread of accessories. I think compared to what Revoltech used to offer, it's kind of light if you take away that bonus head. The only solace I have with that neck peg breaking is when you get the bonus head, you actually get a separate neck assembly, so I can excel a little bit. Try to grab this other accessory without setting off the alarm. Damn it. Of course, you can't have Catwoman without her signature whip, and this is actually a really nice whip. My only problem with it is she can't grip it that well, so I had to substitute a little bit of that mask with some black tape. A little temporary fix. The whip itself is a really nice wire for it. Looks like black coating. It does seem like you can disconnect it from the hilt, though, so be mindful about that. You do get a static posed whip right here, and it's got a nice little flex to it. Get a swap out piece down here with another static whip for when she has it holstered, so that's pretty cool. Really like the details all throughout her outfit, man. How it's broken up in design. It looks great. Get a left and right grip hand. Not that she dual wields, but that's a cool look. You get this gold chain or necklace. I'm not really sure what it's called. There was a other term for these necklaces, like something more grand. I know it's gonna come to me later, but I do like the details for it. Looks like a cat with a red jewel in the middle. And then you got this gold block of plastic. I mean, honestly, I could leave it, but I guess it represents the character. I wish I had a wash or just, I don't know, something else. It just seems so plain. You get a couple pointing gun imitation hands, so that's okay, I guess. You have what will be the closest thing to fist hands. They're not really sculpted like fists. I guess they figured it's impossible to close your fist with those nails like that. Looks almost like her grip hands. And then, of course, you got the signature claws, the best accessory she comes with. Well, aside from the whip, and those look really good. Like the silver detail to it, you do get a necklace right here. Got a little flex to it. And you have a jewel accessory right here. I'm not sure the significance of it. I do like the metallic coating on it, but I kind of wish it was more of that transparent look. Don't mind the sticky tack. You got a couple standard release face plates, and I don't know, maybe those dumbass goggles is growing on me. I do like that red look for it. It's not transparent. This is one of her stoic looks, probably one of Revoltech's better looking female face plates. Really tricky trying to swap out those face plates. Then you got a curved barbell going into the skull, so you don't want to stress that. This face right here, man, I'm trying to like it. It looks like she needs a shot and to come back in 2 weeks. Then you got her pleasant face right here, which looks good. Nice and pleasant. I do appreciate the eye moving gimmick. I actually adjusted her eyes already. It's getting easier for me. And here's a look at the bonus face, and I think it's actually a really good face. It doesn't look that much like the original, like the standard release face plates, though the eyes look a little bit different in color, even size. But as a standalone piece, I think the head sculpt looks good on the body. Yeah, she looks alright. More of a long-haired guy myself, but she Lastly, she comes with an extra wrist peg and your standard Revoltech stand. So yeah, I'm not sure which version of Catwoman this is supposed to be, but I think she looks great. And what really surprised me is I had it in my mind she was going to be a small figure like Harley Quinn's height. She's actually got a little bit of height on her, so for me, that adds to the fun factor. I wish they would have swapped out the sick face for like a scratch effect accessory. That would have really set this figure over the top, but she does come with a stand, so I'm gonna give her an 8.5 for her accessories. For her look, there's still something unsightly I want to talk about, so I'm gonna give her an 8 for her look. I think Revoltech did an amazing job translating their idea for articulation to such a relatively simple design and making it look and feel simple. The one thing everybody's going to be talking about is this huge gap just under her chin. It's unavoidable. That joint is agape. It is ajar. And I could see by their design how you would need that space right there, but come on guys, it's got to be a better way. But other than that though, she moves like an angel, nice and smooth. Her head range is on Candyland. I'll trademark that later. Same goes for the shoulders. You got a ball going into the bicep on a hinge with the peg going downward into the torso. So essentially you can get your shift adjustment posing and you can simulate a good butterfly movement. Cool part is the way they engineered it. You could pretty much hide that shoulder joint in most poses. Single joint at the elbow, you get a rotation at the top and bottom of that joint and you actually get some pretty good range too. Universal hinge and rotation at the wrist, decent range, decent grip. You go too far, that hand likes to slide off, and just a quick moment for the ab crunch. Just lovely. This style, even though I'm not completely partial to it, I think the design lends itself perfectly to Revoltech's articulation setup. It makes sense why they would go with this, because that's the only reason I can think of why they would go with this specific design. I'm kind of hoping somebody would come along with my favorite, which is that one where she's in purple with the black shading around her forehead. Not necessarily the one with the hair out, but that version's cool too. Version of Catwoman is your favorite. Who would you like to see tackle it? Feel free to let me know in the comment section below. When you're working at articulation at the torso, you want to be mindful of moving it around, as that top piece likes to bump up against that bottom one occasionally. So just take your time with it. This piece right here with the logo on it, it's actually a floating piece, but it's glued in the front. So apparently my microphone died out, so the audio probably sounds a little weird, but if you didn't notice, she does have a ball at the hip, a ball at the thigh, and a ball with a hinge at the knee. So you get kind of a shift motion. So be really careful with that when you're articulating, but she's got some really good range right there. The worst part of her articulation, I'm going to say, is going to be her ankles. I kind of wish they went in a little bit further, as well as going up. She's got some sculpting that partially covers that joint, so it's going to be really tricky trying to get her into some Marvel Legends type movement. No loose joints, and her toe hinges aren't that bad, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And for a girl with some heels, she's actually not the worst I've ever experienced to balance, so I'm very happy about that. But I'm not going to act like my neck peg didn't break, so I'm going to give y'all quality a 7. For the articulation, I think a 9.9 seems fair. For your size comparisons, here we have her next to your Revoltech Harley Quinn, your Mafex Poison Ivy, your DC Essentials Batgirl, and your Revoltech Joker. And I think within Revoltech's line of these Batman figures, they look pretty good together. Next, here we have her next to your Mafex Black Snuggie Batman and your Classified series. And with Batman, what can I say? These are two different styles. Her head is a little bigger than his, but I think you could fudge it. And lastly, here we have her next to your NECA, your SH Figure Art, your Mattel, I think, and your Kotobuki at Zero Model Kit. Final thoughts on the Revoltech Catwoman. Ultimately, this is a solid figure. Revoltech did a wonderful job with this figure, but I shudder to think about that one guy who just buys the standard release and that neck peg snap on him. Look at me using words like shudder. I was parched, but I'm having more fun than I thought I would with this figure. I like her more than I thought I would. I was not excited about this figure at all, so I'm really happy about it. I already knew she was going to move. I mean, it's Revoltech, one of my favorite companies, but the one thing that pulled me in, the one thing I love, is her height. I'm hoping Revoltech revisits their neck engineering, but I'm loving where Revoltech is going. Still not a fan of how they're running their exclusives, but if you can find her under 90, I say go for it. Final score, I'm gonna give her a 9. All right, y'all, that's the video. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.